Hello and welcome back all your smiling faces out there. Welcome to another video on the channel. We have 3 stories to go through and let's just say some of them are a bit like, okay. But then there's some are like, yeah, that's not real. And another one is, yeah, we've been telling you that for a while. So this is what we got. So the first one we're going to look at, we're going to spin this around straight away. This is what we got, people. As you can see, a couple of days ago, Mads Mikkelsen was rumoured to be taking over the role from Johnny Depp in Fantastic Beasts franchise. Well, according to Mads Mikkelsen himself, he hasn't had a phone call. So this is what we got on Twitter, so discussing film, Mads Mikkelsen says that him replacing Johnny Depp in Fantastic Beasts is a rumour. So I know as much as you do from the newspapers, I'm waiting for that phone call. And then you got that one by there, which again, so many people are replying, and it's exactly true. As I said at the outset, they threw his name out there hoping it would somehow placate the people and deflect from the backlash they were receiving for firing Johnny Depp. Didn't work. We all see the injustice and double standards. And it's pretty unfair on Mads too, which it is. I never actually thought of it that way, but it is, because his name has been thrown out there, and it's like, right, what has this guy done to you? This guy's a good actor, but if he does take the role, and he is offered it, then a lot of people are not going to like him. They're like, well, he ruined it, he took Johnny's role from him, this, that, and the other. But we all need to remember, it's not him. Again, we know how the studio has thought about this entire process, especially with that for some unknown reason, they can only get rid of AH if a civil suit is done against her, like the one that Johnny has filed against her in Virginia, which is just interesting to say the least. But that's what that one is there, and it's kind of sucky that Warner Brothers have kind of thrown his name out there and they haven't even offered him the role. Yet. We do not know. Again, he could just be playing coy about it and being like, well guys, you know what? We're going to offer you this role, but you can't tell anyone. It's not going to be, like, oh, you got to just play it like you haven't heard anything. So that's possibly what it could be. Then the other one we got, which is a complete and utter shit show, to be honest with you. This is coming from Giant Freaking Robot. Again, these type of websites, they are very hit and miss. And with this one, it says, AH to get her own solo superhero movie? Like, what? She is the most least interesting character ever. And that's not just because she's playing it, because she's a wooden actress. But Mera is, well, the character's boring. As the only film in the DC Extended Universe to earn over $1 billion at the worldwide box office, I'm actually glad they said in the DC Extended Universe, because The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises both earned over $1 billion. Aquaman is the surprise hit of the DC lineup. The Jason Momoa and AH starring film was a massive success for the company when it was released in 2018, so it's no wonder that DC would want to expand that universe. A new rumour is suggesting that DC might be looking to give Mera her own spin-off film, which would just be so bad. The news was first revealed by Mikey Sutton of Geekosity, who said that not only does DC plan on expanding her role, ain't going to happen, in Aquaman 2, but are considering giving Mera her own film. Sutton states that the decision to give her own film is part of DC trying to add more female characters to their roster. Beyond Wonder Woman, Mera is the only female superhero acceptable for all ages. Actually, she's not, because have you seen what she does in real life? While Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn has fallen into R-rated territory for the time being, with this year's Birds of Prey and next year's The Suicide Squad. Mikey Sutton also points out that while the Marvel Cinematic Universe is pushing for more female-centered films and television series, DC has strayed largely male. Wish they haven't. And looks to continue so in the future, while DC has their lineup fairly full until 2023. Few of the films that feature female leads, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, looking to be currently the only exceptions, which explains why DC might want to expand in this universe. However, in the latest trailer for Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, characters like Wonder Woman and AH as Mera get a few moments in the spotlight. Yet even with a wide variety of DC films in development, very few look to focus on female leads. The rumour also references the frequent court battles between Johnny and AH, saying that Warner Brothers shows no sign of turning their back on her, especially after the recent court decision calling Depp this. Warner Brothers has clearly made their choice in this couple, having fired Depp from Fantastic Beasts, while the company seem more than willing to expand their work with her. Which, just on that one by there, I actually really do like that this website is, everyone is saying they fired him. You got people, oh no, he resigned. No, they fired him. That's exactly what they did. They got rid of him and that was it. They fired him. And everyone, it's like with her, you can see now that Warner Brothers, they've literally made their bed and they're lying in it with her. Because they just do not care about everyone else. And when you've got 1.5 million people who have signed a petition and other petitions, it's not going to look good. Cinemas are going to be losing so much money as well as the studio. In one of my live streams, people have come out and they've actually done the math. Just going by American standards with the money, 1.5 million people at $13 a head. Here in the UK, it's a lot more as well. And someone worked out like Warner Brothers would be losing between $7 and $11 million just off this film alone if people do boycott it. And again, this is not including their family. So again, I signed the petition. I'm not going to take my niece, so that's another $10. My father's not going to go, that's another $10. So you're literally looking at about $30 to $50 for each family or, each person who signed the petition. Because that's their family. So potentially they could lose a hell of a lot more money. While it's unclear whether or not we will see her as Mera in her own spin-off film, since the project has yet to be greenlit, we will certainly see more of her in Aquaman 2, which still hasn't been greenlit itself. So obviously you got there, James Wan is returning, the director, with David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, co-writer of the first film, also signed on the screenwriter. Jason Momoa will be back, and so will Patrick Wilson and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II are expected to return as well. So that's what we got by there. But we're going to end on something great now, and I really do think this is fantastic, because Screen Rant, they put this out 13 hours ago, why Pirates of the Caribbean cannot work without Johnny Depp. Pirates of the Caribbean 6 looks set to move on from Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow, but this series cannot work without his contributions. Pirates of the Caribbean franchise looks set to soon to move on from Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow, but there's no way the series can function without the actor's contributions to the iconic character. Since the series began in 2003 with the first one, Pirates of the Caribbean franchise has centered around Depp's portrayal of the feckless anti-hero, Captain Jack Sparrow. Due to the actor's continuing legal battle against his ex-wife and alleged AH, Depp has stepped down from the upcoming Fantastic Beasts. No, he was fired, we just went over this, after previously appearing in the first two installments. He also set to be replaced in the upcoming rebooted Pirates of the Caribbean 6, and while it's understandable that the star would take time away from work for personal reasons, the franchise will struggle to find an identity of its own without Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's portrayal of Sparrow, the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, is likely to have a hard time continuing without the star at its centre, as Johnny Depp has been central to his success in terms of style, tone, and story since the first film debuted. It's unlikely that Johnny Depp will return to the role, but it is equally unlikely that Pirates of the Caribbean will be able to establish a new identity in his absence, as he has established a unique persona that will be difficult to emulate, and this character has gone on to shape the style of the series, 100%, because obviously, just the comedy, the way he is he drunk, is he not drunk, it was the entire series. Pirates of the Caribbean is Jack Sparrow. That's like having a Batman film with no Batman. So he set the tone of the franchise. When The Curse of the Black Pearl was first released, expectations were not high for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Disney has fought with Depp's decision to play the Jack Sparrow character as a campy, over-the-top drunkard from early on, and the movie was preceded by the critically maligned The Haunted Mansion the same year. Another star vehicle based on a popular Disneyland ride, but ironically it was the character's decisions that the studio objected to, which won over critics and audiences alike. He went on to earn an Oscar for Best Actor for that film. As good as Jeffrey Rush is in The Curse of the Black Pearl, it's Depp's campiness and wild-eyed Vera that elevated the franchise from being a carbon copy of The Three Musketeers or the Mummy movies, while the following Pirates of the Caribbean sequels can never match his loose, easy charm. The performance nonetheless set the tone for the films that followed. The second movie, Dead Man's Chest, was criticised for its lighter, more cartoony tone and more zany, over-the-top action sequences, but both of these decisions have their roots in Depp's character choices and freewheeling, off-the-cuff silliness, you know. Do you think he plans this, or he just makes it up as he goes along? You know, it's just amazing, it's just the way it is. Although the movies couldn't match the actor's style, there's still a clear attempt to not only center Sparrow more, but also to lighten the tone of the movies themselves, to better mirror his flippant, devil-may-care charm. It's an issue epitomised by the franchise's fifth installment, Dead Men Tell No Tales, where here in the UK it was actually called Salazar's Revenge, whose extended, drab-opening action sequence is designed to put Depp's anti-hero front and centre for the entirety of his action, where the first film split its screen time between Will Turner, Elizabeth and Jack, which it does actually, has actually really good analysis of it. And obviously Sparrow carried the sequels 100%, he is Pirates of the Caribbean. Speaking of the movies never matching Depp, even the worst Pirates of the Caribbean installments benefit from this approach of putting the actor front and centre. He's the only redeeming aspects of On Stranger Tides. There we go, guys, I've said it. Where the absence of Bloom and Knightley proved that a compelling cast of supporting characters was necessary despite Depp's obvious star power. The actor's failed attempts to recreate the magic of Jack Sparrow in later flops such as The Lone Ranger and Mordecai prove that the formula of Pirates of the Caribbean isn't infallible. But the lack of fan interest in Kea Scoladrio's, I do apologise, Dead Men Tell No Tales heroine, and Sam Claflin's On Stranger Tides protagonist prove that Depp's performance is central to the appeal of the series. Yeah, On Stranger Tides earned over $1 billion, and it's the worst in the series. You know, and then he does go on, there's a few more. I will leave the link below, but like he says, but yeah, there isn't enough lore. Well, if you take Jack Sparrow out of Pirates of the Caribbean, there is no lore. You know, there's a few pirate things, you know, Salazar, obviously you've got Blackbeard, you know, you got the Flying Dutchman and all this kind of stuff, but they need to get a lot more story, a lot more pirate lore in there. I think it'd be amazing. Yeah, that's what we got, guys. So I will leave it below, but yeah, that's very interesting to see. As you can see, everyone knows that Pirates of the Caribbean is Jack Sparrow. That is it, nothing more. So if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see each and every one of you soon.